Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information that is out there. We are here to talk about the industry as a whole. We touched on some current events and some other stuff, but at the end of the day, you guys, this is a show for transportation professionals. Everybody who's on my show is active in the industry. There is no theory on anything that we are talking about on any of this stuff, you guys. So rest assured with that. I also have a twice a week long form podcast that I release out there. So if you're interested in hearing about people's development and journeys in the industry, their growth and everything else, best practices, you guys, check that out as well. It's available on iTunes and Spotify. We're on a roll with all of our content, you guys. The comments are already starting to blow up and everybody's filtering in. But, as always, you guys, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, you guys, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers. And especially right now in today's market, if your trailer's in the shop and you're a small carrier, you should never have to shut your operation down for an extended period of time and lose out on all of that revenue. With VHub, you can actually make money while you're doing this because they pay you to move these trailers, you guys. So, and this is on top of the revenue that you get by loading it out. So what they're working on right now, Glade Spring, Virginia, going over to Delta, British Columbia. You get paid $18.50 US to do that. They also have West Valley City, Utah, going up to Calgary, Alberta. You get paid $15.50 to do that. They have San Diego going over to Houston. They just increased the price on that, you guys, $1,200 to move that. And this is all on top of the revenue that you get by loading out that trailer. And then they also just put this one up there, Macomb, Mississippi to Brighton, Colorado, $1,200 to do that. So hit them up, you guys, vhubapp.com. My friends Xavier Campos and Stacy Steen, they'll be in the audience. Just let them know that the Freight Coach sent you guys. It helps keeps his neon light on, right? All right. Zach Williams, what's up? Good morning. Let's fucking go to you as well, sir. He's with SPI Logistics, you guys. If you guys want to become an independent freight agent and take control of your financial future, hit up my man, Zach. Cameron Lisk, good morning to you, sir. April Maroney, what is up? Good fucking morning. Let's get it. Erica Hamilton, good morning, Orange Gang. That is right. Orange Shirt Gang in the house. Drew Driscoll, what's up? Rocky Top's finest out there at Axel Logistics. Good morning to you as well. Dude, I saw on your guys' Instagram account, Drew, you guys got a sick gym on site. That is fantastic. I love seeing that. Patrick Provance, what's up, my man? Good fucking morning to you. His first year prospecting in December. Difficult, but staying positive. Patrick, I'm going to circle back to that here in a second. We're going to talk about that. Sean, what's up, brother? Good morning to you. Sonny Sharma, Orange Shirt Gang, let's fucking go. Dennis Bear Bryant, good morning to you, sir. Dennis has a reefer, you guys. He's based out of South Dakota. If you guys have any real freight for him, hit him up, you guys. Do us ourselves a favor. We got to keep this going. The Freight Coach Network. We got to help each other out. We are the future of freight. We're the president of freight too at the end of the day. Kevin, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining here today. I appreciate you jumping in on this. Dude, yeah, I'm going to have to come in there and check it out, get a workout in out there. That'd be awesome. Patrick, all right, so it's his first year. Patrick, are you new in the industry in freight at all? How long have you been in the industry, man? I want to have some context behind this, and we can talk about this a little bit on the show here. You guys, we're at day 178 of the Freight Coach Morning Show. That's 178th reminder that there are some core issues in this industry that we have to collectively come together and fix as a whole. Truck parking, issue number one. Secure facilities for our drivers, to be able to go shower and stuff. Let's do that. Let's be the change of this industry that we want out there. Dude, I got going there. Bear Everett, not Bryant. Sorry, man. Bear Bryant, the former Alabama coach. That's my bad, man. Like I said, my mouth moves faster than my brain sometimes. All right? My mouth moves faster than my brain. Tracy O. St. Clair, good morning to you. Oh, dude, awesome that he's with SPI. I like it, Patrick. That's good. I like it. I like it. Diesel is up to $4.75 a gallon. Got to throw that out there. Please don't shoot the messenger. Yes, it is down, which is good to see that it's trending in that direction, but it is still up $1.10 per gallon year over year. I get this information from the EIA, you guys, EIA.gov, and a lot of us that are out there putting together RFP bids and everything else that's going on. It's good to know, you guys. It's good to know what that fuel surcharge is at, and carriers as well. Start charging a fuel surcharge. All right. A lot of these people out there who are doing this stuff, they have fuel in the load. All right. Let me see here. There's also some kind of somewhat breaking news. I didn't see this article, so I don't know if it was intentionally buried or not, but there was another not big layoff, but 237 people got laid off. Motive lays off 6% of their workforce and blames slowing demand. They were formerly Keep Trucking, and they had said amid operating cost constraints and demand forced the San Francisco-based freight solution provider. The CEO said the company experienced rapid growth, experiencing 1,450 to 3,700 employees over the last 2 years, and fueled by an unprecedented surge in new business. And the majority of their investment was well placed. It's now clear that we overhired in certain areas. Small and medium-sized business segment experienced rapid growth. However, recently with the market shift, fuel prices are up, and the layoffs are affected employees working in the small to mid-sized business segment, as well as the recruiting department as a whole. And then it comes several months after they raised $150 million in a Series F, and helping the company reach a $2.85 billion valuation as a whole. I think that this is just like a stark reminder. Again, I'm never going to sit here and blame a company for doing what they got to do in those situations. It just like the optics of it and everything. But I think like if you're an employee, like for me, this is like another reason why I do my own thing. All right. Like this is another reason why I work for myself, and I'll always work for myself. I will never take a W-2 for the rest of my life unless it's a company that I own. And I am, because I'm technically a W-2 for myself right now as an S Corp. But beside the point, back to the topic at hand with that, a lot of companies, again, I think that, it's just a message that you're unfortunately going to be expendable at some point. I've been in a situation where it was, I had to move on and I had to choose a different path in my life and everything else at times in my career. But, it's also one of those things that if the opportunity sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I know that there were some big salaries thrown out there earlier this year to, I'm not saying unqualified people, but, some of the numbers that I was hearing confirmed, not just through social media, that people were getting paid and they only had like 2 years industry experience. That's a lot of fucking guaranteed money. And I think that's generally what you will see. Nerf, no, absolutely not. Because if you're willing to pay me that, I can triple that for myself any day. I appreciate it though, buddy. Yeah, it's just one of those situations, you guys, that I think that, but rest assured though, if you're truly showing up and working your ass off every single day, if you're truly adding a ton of value, you're never expendable to any organization, because you're going to be what everybody is looking for. But if you put in C and D effort, if you think as an employee, again, I'm not saying employees don't have rights out there, so don't take it like this, but if you're going in there and causing a shitstorm because you think that you deserve special privileges, I generally think, I can't say that this is what people do, but I think those are usually the people who work themselves out of a job. If you're showing up late, you're leaving early, and everything else, and you're not putting in the effort, you're going to be expendable in these situations. But rest assured, if you are truly working your ass off and putting forth that effort every single day, you're going to be just fine in any economy. You're going to be just fine, because at the end of the day, you guys, winners fucking win. All right. No matter what the circumstances, winners fucking win. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was interesting as a whole, but it's one of those situations that, yeah, it's not going to be the last one to see. I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. I think there's going to be a lot more layoffs, but it's going to be a lot of people who overhired. Like they said in that article, they grew too quick. So think about that. All right. Patrick, I said he used to be a blue collar worker, disabled in the job, started a dispatch company, but recently started as an agent with SPI. He's got a fair amount of industry knowledge about the industry, but I'm new to prospecting customers. Patrick, I say this all the time, man. I live and die by this. This is what I'm building my brokerage off of, is I am all about the niche, man. If you're going out there, how do you stand out in a crowd? My personal opinion is A, do what everybody else, do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Everybody relies on mass emails and everything else. And it's essentially copy and paste. Go after a hyper-focused group. What blue-collar job did you used to work in, Patrick? Let me know that. And that, because I think that's the area that you would go after and start prospecting personally, because you have all of that firsthand industry knowledge out there. I mean, I specialize in open deck and heavy haul and over-dimensional freight because that's my jam. I love that stuff. I've been doing that for a very long time. I am very well versed in that regard. So I think as you're building up and prospecting, because every shipper in that niche is going to have the exact same issue. You know, I know some people have other theories on that. I'm just telling you what has worked for me in the past and what is currently working for me. I pick one freight type and I go after that. That's the open deck sector. Yes, that's a lot larger than one freight type, but I also have, 12 years freight brokerage experience as a whole. So I know where I'm going with this. But if I was starting from scratch, man, I would choose like one commodity and one trailer type as a whole. For example, I would only call dairy shippers and reefer dairy shippers, and that's it. And that's all I would go after and have and just attack that market wherever you live. Patrick, own your backyard. All right. I would go around, get a business card, put on a nice collared shirt, some jeans, slacks, whatever that looks like. And I would go to every facility within a 50-mile radius of your home, and I would introduce myself in person and go with that. That's what I would do, man. That's how I would start off. If I was starting in this industry today with no experience, one commodity, one trailer type, and I would literally introduce myself to everybody that matches that within a 50 or even 100-mile radius of my house, and I would own my backyard, and I would go to truck stops, and I would introduce myself to people out there and go with that. Yeah. Robert Pedro Peterson says, I think a lot of companies did that during COVID. The industry exploded, but it was inevitable. It would not last. Yeah, very true, man. Julia, what's up? One Call Logistics. See, it's worked. Fucking Julia comes in here all the time and says, follow One Call Logistics. So now I've programmed my brain to say Julia is with One Call Logistics. That's funny. You did, Nerf. It was an honest effort. It was worth a try. Yeah, my wife fires me every day, Dennis, so I get it. I get fired all the time. Matt Linder, he's over on YouTube. Let's fucking go. Thanks for joining over there, man. I appreciate that. A lot of construction work docs loading on the 2 customers I have are now flatbed. Yeah, man. There you go, Patrick. I would keep that up, man. It takes a lot longer. It takes a lot longer than you ever want, but it is so much more worth it after you start landing those customers, man. So keep it up. Erica Hamilton, this is always sound advice. You can't be mad at the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. Amen to that. All right, let's get into an article. I love the dialogue today, you guys. See, this is what I love. I love when you guys come with questions and stuff. I put that out there in the day. But if you ever have sales and operations questions, drop them in the comments. You guys, this is what this show is all about. Breaking down articles is fun, but I want to help you guys grow. All right, like that's why I fly Old Glory behind me so proudly every single day, is because I'm living my American dream. There's enough freight out there for us all to succeed. And I am a firm believer that high tides raise all ships. All right. And this is literally all the stuff that I do. Everything I put out there on my content, you guys, is the stuff that I have implemented inside of my own operation. All right. I'm not holding back any secrets. All right. Because nothing that we're doing is proprietary. But if we can put the right information out there, it's going to help us all succeed at a higher level. And that's what it's all about to me. It's not about vanity metrics. It's not about likes and all that bullshit. It's about how do we move this industry forward? How do we help each other collectively move forward as a whole? All right. That was sort of a big gulp of Black Rifle coffee. And if Black Rifle ever calls upon this, Your boy loves your stuff. I'm a Coffee Club member, and Coffee with the Freight Coach podcast would love to partner with you. Anyways, into the first article, freightwaves.com. Rail industry must overcome strained labor relations in order to survive. Okay. the rail industry has never been in a position where it was going to be disbanded and not cease to exist. So quality word usage there. The drama about whether union members would go on strike has passed. With Congress passing legislation and President Biden signing that legislation, all unions to ratify labor agreement that union and railroad negotiations reached in September. But the battle scars still remain, and those scars must be healed in order for the rail industry to not only fully restore service levels, but to also thrive and assume the role as vital as necessary as freight transportation mode. Oh my God. This is like we were at okay, if railroads want to be serious about addressing these issues that the members so vocally stated were a problem during these past 3 years, that would be a welcome change. If they want to start to build employee morale, they should proactively reach out, said Greg Regan. He's the president of the Transportation Trades Department. I don't know. Here would be my first thought. If I was a union member and the union was not getting my demands met, I would fucking remove myself from the union. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand that at all. I think it's a pretty simple thing. If you're a member of a union, you're paying dues into something, and then your voice is not being heard and your workers' rights are not being met. Why are you a member of a fucking union? That's what my first thought would be. Anyways, how can the railroads and the unions move on? They can do so through local negotiations, through changing railroad conditions. Why contract negotiations went differently this time. The unions undergo collective bargaining for a new agreement every several years, and there has been cultural expectation within the industry that both sides would give and take without significant noise. But this negotiation round, which started in January of 2020, was different. One was because of the headcount reductions, yada, yada, yada. We're going to go through all of this. Quality of life issues at the local levels. Although the railroads and unions have just ended this collective bargaining round, another one is up in the not so distant future. The next one will start in January of 2024. But before then, work is underway. Local negotiations involve railroad working with the unions on localized and regional basis. What is that? Just creating more unions inside of unions? Fuck. Local negotiations are traditionally where work, rules, and craft specific. Presidential Emergency Board. Sorry, guys. I'm just scrolling through to try and find some actual substance in this article. I really think that there's a run to predictable railway. You're going to also have flexible, but discussions must also include our railroads and technology. Okay. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Addressing quality of life issues. See, like this was the one for me, like the one that stuck out to me the most was, like sick pay and stuff like that. Like it seemed like they're like when they were on call, they were on call 24/7. They never technically had days off or like paid time off and stuff. And that was the biggest thing. Again, if you're paying in to a union and you don't have these situations, like I would just fucking disband. They just did that out in California. A group of truck drivers just disbanded. Like they just removed themselves from the Teamsters union. I just broke down that article a couple weeks ago or last week or early. Fuck, it could have been earlier this week. Sorry, guys. I don't really have the best memory at times. Let me see. And the role and rank and the role the rank and file might have an influencing culture. So the key element to changing culture may be the actual railroaders themselves. Yeah. Kind of like how our government is, you guys. Like the government works for us. And if we don't like it, the power of the people can come together and collectively remove people from office. It's a little known thing, kind of how the rank and file system is for the union. Let me see here. Going out here, somebody who used to work for the British Railways described how the railways were unable to produce culture change because they tried to do it from the top down, even though they used the quality management principles to take place. But the British Post Office system, which Little also worked for, was seeking cultural change as well. The post office chose a different approach. It went straight to the workers. See, kind of the same thing with everything. Go to the rail. If like, and that's the thing is if the rail workers themselves wanted real change, and again, I'm not advocating for this, but if the rail workers themselves wanted real change, they would all band together and say, fuck you, union, and we're not going to work. All right. Like, they're not going to fire everybody. Okay. They're not going to fire everybody if you collectively came together. And that's what you're going to have to do in these situations if you want this change. And it's the same thing with everything else that's going on. You know, the way that our Republic of the United States is centered on. It's a constitutional republic, individual rights. And if the individuals come and band together, you can make some actual change. Just like if you want it done, you got to band together and come together at the lower level, because top down isn't going to protect the lower worker. It's just like with a lot of publicly traded companies. Again, I'm not knocking publicly traded companies, but their fiduciary responsibilities to the shareholder. It's not to the individual worker. So again, I think that this article lacked a lot of substance in it at all. It was a catchy title, but the rail is not at danger of going out of business. It's not going to all of a sudden stop ceasing to exist and everything, but there's got to be some real change out there. And if you want it as a rail worker, if you guys are coming across this, it's got to come from you guys at the lower levels. You guys hold the power, not the unions. The workers themselves hold the power. And if the union's not representing you, why are you paying into a union? That's my honest assessment on that. That article was from freightwaves.com. Rail industry must overcome strained labor relations in order to survive. They will survive at that. Anyways, next article, fleetowner.com, 4 ways to avoid CSA violations. All right. Compliance and Safety Accountability, CSA initiative of the FMCSA, has several behavioral analyses and safety improvement categories that are used by law enforcement personnel during roadside inspections. The maintenance basic is one that many fleets have violations for. However, fleets are not at the mercy of the safety inspectors. They can also take steps to reduce the risk of violations by doing a few simple things. Preventative maintenance. We talk about this a lot on this show, and a lot of the trucking experts, because again, I don't own a fleet, but I have a lot of friends who do own fleets, and that's why I have them come on here and talk about preventative maintenance and everything else and the importance of it and what it can do for the overall life of your vehicle. Maintenance is scheduled on a regular basis, and the reason is that truck makers and component suppliers have data that shows when certain components or systems typically stop performing at peak levels and need to be checked. Your car operates the exact same way. But again, you know, preventative maintenance is what is going to keep you on the road. If you talk to any longtime owner operator or longtime fleet, they talk about that being the number one thing on why they can remain on time with a lot of their freight, and why they are able to find success in the industry is due to that. And then also the number 2 on this list is perform inspections whenever the truck is in the shop. Again, it's not just the oil change. Have them do a bunch of additional checks and stuff while it's in there. Take advantage of it while it is in the shop to get anything that may be on its way out to get it done. Because again, it's like taking that time while it's already in the shop is going to be exponentially cheaper than a roadside repair or a tow or anything like that. The third one is reinforce the importance of pre and post trips inspections. It is, yeah, and that's another thing that I've had with a couple of the owner operators that are on my podcasts in the past, is they are all about the pre and post trip and how that's what keeps them moving no matter what, because they identify a lot of these things. And then again, they get this stuff taken care of. Don't think of how you can save money like it's an investment into your operation, and downtime costs a lot more than money. It's the future opportunities that are gone from it and everything else. And I think like staying on top of it is so key. And then, you know, looking at the trends and then all the data that is out there right now, it should be relatively easy to spot failure, trends, and reoccurring problems, then work proactively to address them. This was a good article. There's a lot of solid information in here because it lists out the steps on what they would do. Fleet Owner is one of my favorite websites to use for all of their news sources for all of our hardworking men and women out there on the road. And the title of this article is 4 Ways to Avoid CSA Violations. And as always, you guys, I put the links to all of these articles up on the YouTube channel, The Freight Coach, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay of this, which is available on iTunes and Spotify. Almost immediately after we're done on this live show, I put the recording up there. And yeah, if you guys do go over there to those other platforms, do your boy a solid. Subscribe and share the show. because if you guys see value in it, your network's going to see value in it as well. And it helps out with everything. And I appreciate all the support you guys show me. Third and final article is from my man, Dean Croak over at DAT. It's from the blog. It's how trucking owner operators can optimize operating costs. DAT's analysis shows that costs today are around $2.01 a mile, up from $1.77 a year ago. This represents a 14% increase in operating costs, which is primarily due to fuel. And compared to last year, the average fuel has gone from 52 cents to 76 cents a mile. And that is a 52% increase and is the highest cost for owner operators. And, obviously maximizing financially efficient, the benefits of optimizing your operating costs is maximize financial efficiency by understanding the day-to-day costs, refueling deadhead miles, and even the money you spend on meals can eat into your profits if you're not careful. Ensure that you're actually making a profit. And, that's the thing. That was one of the hardest lessons I learned in business as well is, grossing revenue and having a high grossing month, but also a high expense month. You're not, it looks like you're making money, but then, don't ever forget that Uncle Sam's going to have their fucking elbows deep in your pockets for that. And then making informed decisions that lead to long lasting success. And that kind of ties in our previous article that we were breaking down on that. You guys, preventative maintenance and keeping your truck on the road is so imperative to you out there. And again, it's like, and when you are down, planning that out, trip planning is key as well. So you can plan out your preventative maintenance. This has a lot of breakdowns in here. So again, if you're an owner operator or a driver that's looking into it, they do a very well broken down article on what you can do to help you plan out all of this stuff from your operating costs to everything else. I know my man, Adam Wingfield over with Innovative Logistics, they have a break-even calculator and everything for you guys for free to use. So again, use these resources that are at your disposal, you guys, because the market that we're in right now and what is going to be happening here over the next 12 to 18 months on the macro scale in the economy is out of our control. But what's in our control is how we operate our business and how we stick with it. Control what you can control right now. You maximize your time. I just put a post out on this morning, you guys, about maximizing your time. How much time are you fucking around in a day when you're not? I've identified that I fuck around a lot more than I probably should because I have shiny ball syndrome. And I'm working on that. And that is my big thing over these next 12 months is going to be my time and maximizing my time and being very diligent of that so I can actually be working on my business instead of in my business as a whole. That article is from DAT.com. It's under their blog, How Trucking Owner Operators Can Optimize Operating Costs. Excuse me. Julia says, my favorite to ask a prospect is, what are you looking for in a transport company? They have not even thought about this prior to calling, and they love it. That's good. That's a good tip, Julia. I'm glad you shared that out there. Again, you guys, we're going to continue to talk about this because as I'm building out my freight brokerage, as I'm building out everything, you guys, I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to put all of this information out there because, again, that's what all of this content is for, is, for you guys to apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business, in your life. And we're going to be talking to more and more people about how they have navigated through these markets, because this market that we're in and going to be in next year is not an anomaly. I've experienced this in my career, and as have others, and we've all survived, and we're going to continue to survive because at the end of the day, you guys, winners fucking win, and that's what we're going to do. But that's it for today, you guys. The Freight Coach Morning Show. We'll be back tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down more industry headlines and to provide the actual insight that you need to continue to sustain through any market shift out there. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.